Hey folks, Brian Blessing coming to you from Las Vegas here at bangthebook.com. Glad to be with you, and we've got NASCAR with their biggest race of the year right out of the gate, the Daytona 500, and trying to find you an opportunity here to make a little bit of money. You know, last year it was the big three, and you had Kevin Harvick and Truex and Kyle Busch winning all the races. Then Joey Logano wins the championship at the end of the year. When we go to the Daytona 500 with the restrictor plate racing, you're trying to find who's going to be adept at making the big move at the tail end of the race and who's going to be aggressive enough. Well, we had the two duels on Thursday. Kevin Harvick won, got to the front, and he was very tough to pass. And then in the second duel, it was Joey Logano who made an incredible move. He was sitting about 5 car lengths back, ducked to the bottom, weaved through, got the lead, and then didn't give it up here on the final lap. The bottom line is, watching the races this year, you've got new cars, Mustangs, new aerodynamic packages, where basically it's been single file on the outside line. Nothing works on the inside. I mean, no one's willing to go and form that train over the course of a 500-mile race. Now, we had the clash and then the two dual sprints. Maybe over the course of 500 miles, guys will experiment a little bit to see if they can have success forming a line down low. One of the guys that tried to experiment was Denny Hamlin, and he's an aggressive driver. He could be pretty interesting. I will just tell you, when you look at the odds out of the gate for this thing, it's wide open, and the numbers are inflated because restrictor plate racing, you can have the big one, the big accident, takes a lot of cars out, as we saw in the clash. But you got to be good at this, and you got to have track position. Keselowski, Harvick, Logano are co-favorites at 8-1. Clint Boyer's got a fast car. He's got to learn to close the deal, though. He's 10-1. It's funny. I think the odds makers got it right here after watching the duels. There are some price plays. I like Kurt Busch at 16-1. Busch is so aggressive on restarts. He's won this race before. You don't necessarily need the best car here in restrictor plate racing. It's all about being positioned properly and then being dangerous on restarts or knowing how to time that move like Logano did. Busch is one of those guys. One guy I thought we'd get a much better price on, Eric Almirola. This guy flat out does get the position. He's got a good car, and I think he's a very underrated driver. But, the odds on Almirola, the odds makers are on top of this. Looking at him at 12-1, I thought he might be a guy you could get in the 20-1 range. And then Denny Hamlin at 10-1 in that FedEx number 11. He looked really, really good in his duel. He just didn't have track position, but he was more experimenting than trying to win that race, making sweeping moves, down low, get up, find a hole, and was able to gain some track position. I think you needed a really aggressive driver. I think Logano could be tough again. I mean, he is really something. He doesn't care who's in his way. He's got a little Dale Earnhardt Sr. in him. So I do think Logano will be tough. But from a price perspective, I think Kurt Busch is a play. I think Almirola is a play. But I think Denny Hamlin could be the guy in that FedEx number 11 when all is said and done that wins the Daytona 500. You'll have matchups. It's going to be an exciting day, and it's the return of NASCAR racing. Football's over, but a new sport begins. That's the nature of the beast. Here in Las Vegas for bangthebook.com, I'm Brian Blessing. Follow me at Bang the Book. Don't forget the sports betting podcast with our good buddy Adam Burke, and I always join Adam on Tuesdays. Enjoy the Daytona 500.